2016 is around the corner, and since every show does a year-end special, the Counterattack is no different. Sure, we only started in March, but here's the best of 2015. Hi everyone, Greg Meskel here. Thanks for joining us on The Counterattack. It's the end of the year, which means it's our year-end special. A look back at the year that was in The Counterattack, the only news program covering nothing but water polo. It's the only one in the U.S., and as far as we know, it's the only one in the world. So we thank you for tuning in each and every week. It's been a pretty banner year in our first year of existence. There was the time we talked to the 2-year-old in Chicago, or I went to Toronto and Kazan, Russia, everyone's vacation destination, to bring you The Counterattack from the Pan American Games and the FINA World Championships. We covered a number of high school championships. Remember that episode that was 20 minutes long, talking about almost nothing but high school? Our editor, Cherie, sure does. We've covered it all, and we've talked about what you've talked about on social media. What we want to do right now is take a look back at some of our top moments from 2015, and then we'll get into a great social media send-off, looking at some of the best stuff from the world of the internet in water polo that you've shared with us. But right now, let's take a look back at some of our great moments right here on The Counterattack. Last week, something that was a whole lot of fun on our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram pages was a picture of a young 2-year-old from Chicago, dubbed the Next Maggie Steffens. When you see this photo and you see it retweeting and trending everywhere, what was your thoughts when you saw that?
I wanted to just jump up and cry, and I don't know, it was so cute, but it was also so inspiring that her face was so intense. I was like, wow, here's this little girl who I was exactly like. I was in the water at 2 years old and playing around with my older siblings, and here she was kind of just going for it, like I was saying earlier about Fish and Maddie. So I loved it.
Excellent stuff. Well, Maggie Steffens, good luck with the rest of the college season, and then, of course, what'll be a busy summer with Team USA. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Maggie, for joining us. And speaking of that 2-year-old girl, she joins us now, Navia Escalante from Chicago. Thanks for coming on The Counterattack. How are you doing?
Good.
Hey, Navia, we saw your picture and you were looking very, very tough, but can you smile for us?
Smile.
Oh, look at that. Look, she smiles also. So she's a tough water polo player. Now, how about your tough face? Do you have a tough face for water polo?
Your main face.
Whoa, that is a game face no one's going to want to mess with. Hey, Dad, you want to slide in there for a minute and talk to us too? This is Navia's dad, Ernesto. Ernesto, tell me about when this photo goes up and you see all the people commenting. What did you think about it when you saw your little girl there?
Yeah, I mean, that was wild. Like, it was just a time that we had to spare at the pool. You know, we were just waiting for our swim to start. We got there a little early, and this photo shoot she took about 5 photos, but this one was, you know, she did that on her own. I would never think that she would make a face like that, but that's like her demeanor. You know, like that's who Navia is. Like, she's like the bully of the house.
Really? So she runs things over there?
She totally does. I mean, her sister's 6 years old, and like, she's the boss. You know, Navia just she is a character. She's different, but.
Sure. Well, the last thing, Navia, what's the one thing we should tell Maggie? Do you want to say hi to her? Okay. Well, we'll tell Maggie you said hi, and I'm sure she'll say hi back. From Chicago, 2-year-old Navia Escalante, the star of our Facebook page from a week ago. Thanks so much for joining us. We start things off with the big event from this past weekend, the Women's Water Polo Championship at Stanford University. It came down to the 2 teams everyone expected. Number 1, number 2 all season long, Stanford and UCLA. They met for the title. Out to Stanford we go with a look at the highlights here. The Bruins and the Cardinal battling in front of a jam-packed crowd, and we pick it up. Second half, third quarter, only 1 goal would be scored. It came at the hands of senior Kylie Nuschel. She puts this one away here. Now we move into the fourth quarter. Back and forth it went. Charlotte Pratt, a game for the ages for UCLA. She connects to tie at 5-5. Kylie Nuschel comes back with another one, 6-5. But then more Charlotte Pratt with time winding down here, just 2:45 left to play. She ties it, and it sets up the final stages here. UCLA on defense, Stanford on the attack. Bruins get the stop. Sammy Hill controlling, then looks to pass out. In the meantime, Coach Brandon Brooks calling for timeout for UCLA. What happens here? UCLA not in possession of the ball when the timeout was called. That results in a penalty against the rules, setting up Nuschel for the win here with 11 seconds left. She's going to put this one away for her 5th goal of the game. Bruins with one last chance. They are unable to convert, and Stanford back-to-back NCAA champions. They win it again, this time at home, defeating the UCLA Bruins 7-6. The celebration is on at the Avery Pool. Afterwards, we caught up with some members of the victorious Stanford Cardinal squad.
It's surreal and it's amazing and everything. It still hasn't completely hit me, but I think describing that moment would just be bringing us back to reality and realizing that something amazing just happened. And I don't know how it just happened, and it was a long, grueling process, but just kind of the culmination of it, and everyone jumping into the water is awesome.
In games like that where you're so involved and there's so much adrenaline, the crowd was amazing. I'm kind of still playing in my head, so it'll be great once that moment kind of hits.
Last week on the show, we told you about our Hall of Fame inductees, the 33rd class, Natalie Benson, Amber Drury, Rich Corso. Now their tribute videos aired at the Hall of Fame are live on our YouTube channel. You can watch them all at youtube.com/USAWP. Here's a little taste from Rich Corso's induction video, SportsCenter anchor and former Harvard Westlake player Doug Kazarian on his favorite water polo coach.
One thing I realized early on, Corso was playing chess when other coaches were playing checkers, whether it was 6-on-5 rotations, end-of-game situations, or the mechanics of shooting a hezzy. We did everything at an advanced level. One year, during the entire season, we practiced something called a movement zone. It was an active drop of the 2-3-4 positions. Honestly, we never ran it in a single game, but still practiced it every day. Corso was always worried it would get scouted or some other team would be videotaping it. He was unwilling to risk it. Fast forward to the CIF championship game, tight game at halftime, and guess what defense we bust out for the second half? Yeah, the movement zone. We won the game easily, and I want to say the other team was completely shut out in the second half. They had no clue what hit them. Corso saved an ace up his sleeve all season, and it helped us win a title. But that was just one example. Every practice was planned to the minute. It really was AP water polo.
The USA-Serbia series, and for the first time since 2002, a USA water polo national team played a home game in Chicago. Clearly, Chicago, we need to come back to you. The crowd last Tuesday at the University of Illinois Chicago, jam-packed. A sellout weeks in advance. People lined up in every possible vantage point to see USA and Serbia, and they were not disappointed. To the highlights we go late in this one, early in the fourth quarter. It's an 11-10 lead for Team USA, not for long. Dusan Mandic on the skip shot. He ties things at 11. 2 minutes later, the Serbian star Filipovic looking for more, but he is field blocked. But there's Mandic picking it up and scoring cross cage for a 12-11 lead for Serbia. On the very next possession for Team USA, they turn to the UCLA Bruin, Alex Rolsa. He's able to hit on the skip shot right after the ordinary, beating Branislav Mitrovic. We're all tied at 12. 2:54 now remaining in the fourth. Alex Obert on the inside takes the entry pass. He goes backhand, puts that one away. It's a 13-12 lead for Team USA. Now the final moments. 32 seconds left in this one. Serbia down 1. Who do they turn to? Filipovic. He delivers here with a huge goal. We're all tied at 13. Final seconds now. If you recall, Game 3 in Lake Forest, it was Luka Cupido with 2 seconds left winning the match. How does he top that? He does it like this. 3 seconds left here in the fourth on the power play. Alex Bone to Cupido. He lets fire with no time remaining, and he scores it, and euphoria in Chicago as Team USA wins it. They top Serbia 14-13. They cap a 4-game sweep of Serbia. Here's another look at that final goal, the winner from Cupido, courtesy of Twitter and the NWC water polo account. It's a big week for Team USA. Both the men and the women have advanced to the medal rounds here of the Pan American Games. Let's take a look at how they did in group play thus far. It was a dominant showing for Team USA. As you look through the group standings, it was a great start on day one as the USA women topped Mexico 25-3, the men over Ecuador 25-0, and on it went from there. USA women capping group play over Argentina 30-3, the men winning 14-3. The men with a huge semifinal against Canada. We'll have full results of that coming next week. You can also get caught up, of course, at usawaterpolo.org for everything USA-Canada here at the Pan American Games. Meanwhile, back here in Kazan, the FINA World Championships wind to a close. It's been a great couple of weeks for our men's and women's national teams. For our women, they'll vie for a medal, looking to get back to the podium for the first time since 2009. And meanwhile, our men have had a great showing. They will play for the 5th through 8th place bracket as they wind down their competition. San Jose State and their men's water polo team that played their first game this past weekend for the first time in 35 years. To San Jose State we go, and some of the highlights here, and it was a big win for the Spartans in front of a jam-packed crowd. Luminaries such as Peter Uberoth were on hand, the San Jose State alum, as the Spartans took down the Santa Clara Broncos 13-7. Justin Contreras with 4 goals to lead the offense. Matej Matajevic doing the job in net, and congrats to Coach Bruce Watson getting that program back in action and back in the game with a victory.
We are at Foster Lake, Oregon, and we are playing a water polo tournament in the lake, in the very cold lake, and facing teams from all over.
This is it. Like, this is the thing that bonds us the most. This is the thing that we look forward to the most. I mean, yes, season comes for high school, and yes, like, you have JOs to look forward to, you have all this stuff to look forward to, but this is like, this is it. It's pretty fantastic.
And we couldn't talk Olympics without talking the Junior Olympics. It's finally here. That countdown clock you see on our website, it's about to run out because the JOs starts Saturday. Don't forget, use the hashtag when you're tweeting about everything JOs, 2015 JOs. Good luck to all the teams. Safe travels to everyone coming from all over the country to Southern California to participate. One club that's getting ready, the Mesa Polo Club in Arizona, and the Fox 10 station in Phoenix had this nice story about that club getting ready for the world's biggest water polo tournament.
Paul, tell me what it's going to be like in Irvine. Where are these kids headed? What's going to happen out there?
Irvine, this is Junior Olympics. This is one of the top age group events that are going to occur in the country this year. We're going in. We're the only age group program in Arizona. We don't compete every weekend like these kids in California and across the country, but specifically California do. We're going to have some tough matches, but we've gone out to a couple of California events and we've surprised some people. So we're pretty excited.
I told you last week that because of a hiatus here in the show, we missed a bunch of the state champs around the country. We're going to make up for that right now with a laundry list of high school champs from all over the country, including many that were crowned this past weekend in various states. If you don't see your team photo, be sure to hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. Send in your team picture. We'll make sure we get it featured on our social media channels and also right here on the show. The biggest in men's college water polo, the NCAA Championship, was decided. It was held at UCLA, if you can believe it, for the first time in school history. And the Bruins had a chance to make history, looking for an undefeated season, looking to repeat as NCAA champs. They'd have to do it against rival USC. Let's go to the highlights. A capacity crowd on hand at UCLA. This event sold out weeks in advance for the Crosstown Splashdown USC UCLA meeting for the title. All men of Troy early on. Grant Stein connecting to open up the scoring. A 1-0 lead for the Trojans. Ryder Roberts hitting here, 3-2. Moments later, more Ryder Roberts making it 3-3 as he brings the Bruins back. Garrett Danner closes the door in net. He would pile up 13 saves. The Bruins into the pool for a celebration. They win the national championship 10-7, 113th title in UCLA history. They complete the season perfection, 30-0. So those are some of the best moments. We're going to be creating a whole lot more coming in 2016. Right now, though, we want to get into our final social media send-off of the year. This started off by just highlighting some of the best tweets from around the country, and then we got into Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere else. We appreciate all of you using the hashtag counterattack and tagging us in all your great videos, photos, and everything else at USAWP. Don't forget to do that coming in 2016, as we want to share even more of what you're doing in the world of social media. So here we go, our final social media send-off, a best of for 2015. First things first, we go back to state champs in Michigan, Ann Arbor Skyline, and one fan wrote in to let us know that the belly flop taking place here, that was the head coach. It was Rebecca Godek. Good job, coach. Way to dive in with the belly flop to celebrate. From there, we go to women's senior national team head coach Adam Krikorian, breaking out the old school video games. Yes, those of you not familiar with the 80s, this is what a video game looked like. The graphics will probably hurt your eyes, so thankfully there's no footage of that just yet, but Coach Krikorian fired up. He's ready to go all old school with the Def Leppard as well. Look at this image sent in from Fab Sports. Might be the first 2-year-old water polo poster. It's pretty cool though. The game face, I think we can all agree, is spot on. Thanks for sending that in. Water Polo Fit on Twitter shared with us this water polo type foosball game. If anyone's looking to get a Christmas or holiday gift for the counterattack, we will accept this game. I don't know if this game is 40 years old or is new and has a retro look. Either way, I am looking forward to giving it a shot. I'm not very good at foosball, but I will try water polo foosball. Team USA may have won gold once in 2015 at the Pan Am Games on the men's national team, but for Tony, it was his 5th time, and he shared all 5 medals on Instagram. Which one do you like best? 2015 seems to have the most gold in there for my money, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Check out this cake sent in by Jeff Perlman. He is a well-known sports writer, but his family is also involved in the game of water polo, and they put together this fantastic water polo cake. Look at the detail. Tough to cut into that when you see how well it was done. And then last but certainly not least, Tyler Thames. Shieldy is his best friend. Tyler, that's the biggest win anyone's going to get all week at JO's, hanging out with the big shield. So that puts a capper on 2015. Thanks again for joining us on the Counterattack, this episode and all of our episodes. We're wishing all of you a happy new year, and we'll see you back here in 2016. And even in 2016, put this on your New Year's resolution list. When you're on the Counterattack, look weak side.